Welcome back. Another edition of Talking Ball. It's Jack and Josh. We're talking NBA. And Josh, the season win totals are out. I think it's our second favorite time of year in terms of NBA season betting because I think we like the player props just a little bit more. Maybe I'm speaking for myself here, but that's how I feel at least. But I'm not exactly sure how long they've been out for. We're going to go through the Western Conference today. I've seen a couple of these before. Josh has not. So we're going to basically be giving you our live reactions to these and how we see them. So I've got FanDuel. That was a tongue twister for no reason there. Pulled up here. So we're going to be going through them live. Josh, any thoughts here before we get started with the Western Conference?
Well, I'm really curious to see how many teams are projected to tank because we know this upcoming draft class is a really interesting draft class with a lot of good prospects. That being said, I feel like, especially for the West, there's only 4 or 5 teams that generally tank, looking at the last 4 or 5 years. So definitely keep that in mind. And especially in the West, tanking can be a pretty high number. So, or you could just be the Dallas Mavericks and pull a number one pick out your ass. So
Right, right. You never know. You never know.
never know.
All right, so we're gonna go in alphabetical order here because that's how it's on FanDuel. That way I don't miss anybody. And I believe the Hawks, Celtics, Nets, Hornets, Bulls, Cavs. Those are all Eastern Conference teams. So the first Western Conference team, Josh, is the Dallas Mavericks. Before I reveal what their win total's at here, you want to take a guess?
Oh yeah. I would love to take guesses just to see
All
how
right,
off I
let's
am.
go.
But
Let's
for
go.
this team, keeping in mind that Kyrie is going to be out, even though I think their GM talked about how he's progressing faster than or on schedule or better than expected. We know they'll probably take a time with him and Anthony Davis and everything. I honestly think they set the line at either 38 and a half or 39 and a half, given that they won 39 last year. I'm going to go with 39 and a half.
Okay, okay. And the survey says 40 and a half.
I was gonna go. Okay, yeah,
Very close. Very close.
yeah. Okay.
Man, all right, all right. I'll give my take on this and then you can go. So, I was thinking about this. I was going through my notes. It's funny. I was making my prediction for them. I had them at 38 and a half. We're same ballpark here. And I said, without Kyrie, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Cooper Flag and D'Angelo Russell to be like creators because they
And who? And who?
right. uh, they have a lot of good players. That's the thing, but
Sure.
they do. At least solid players,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that's sure.
NBA players. PJ Washington, both centers, Lively and Gafford, Klay Thompson, obviously Anthony Davis, Najee Marshall. Like they got Max Christie. They got a lot of guys. What they don't have is a table setter. They don't have anybody who's gonna make life easier. And that's a lot to ask on a rookie. Even though he's the number one pick, you're asking him to do something that's a little bit outside of his comfort zone. Start off at least. And D'Angelo Russell, who's on, I don't know what team would this be now for Russell. He's been on the Lakers twice. He's been on the Nets twice. The Timberwolves, the Warriors. I guess it's his fifth team. My math is correct here. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a solid line.
It's a really solid line. I'm not surprised they're going to give them a little bit of a higher win total, especially with the Cooper Flag hype. Honestly, if I had to choose, this would definitely be my stay away. Well, one of the stayaways, just due to the fact that you're betting on Kyrie coming back from injury, Anthony Davis, who we know his injury history and how frequently he tends to not play games. And what's past that, you have an aging Klay Thompson. Shout out to him with Megan Thee Stallion. And a rookie Cooper Flag with D'Angelo Russell. I mean, I don't love it. And who's to say that they don't take it the other way? They have their pick next year. It's another tough Western Conference. I mean, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis get older, but you know, you saw how lucky you can get last year. Why not try again? Cooper Fly is still gonna be on his rookie deal, so there's no rush, at least for another 1 or 2 years. The only thing is Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, they're getting older, but Kyrie agreed to a 3 year extension. I don't see why. I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah.
It's a tough West. It's a wild West.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, it makes sense because, as you said in the beginning, not many teams are going to tank. We're going to get into a couple of as well. All right. We had a little bit of a little technical difficulties, but we're back. What I was talking about, to your point, Josh, on the draft, tanking, whatever. There's an article that came out today. 2027 NBA draft is apparently very weak at the top, so teams might be even more aggressive in tanking because this year there's a lot of guys who are very strong at the top of the 2026 NBA draft, even better than 2025, and so it could be a pivot for a team like the Mavericks. All right, next team, the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets. They got rid of Michael Porter Jr. They brought in Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr. Bruce Brown is back. Jonas Valanciunas is there, maybe reluctantly, but he's there. What do you think?
So they won 50 last year. I don't think it's too far off. I'm going to give them an extra win. So I'm guessing the line is 51 and a half,
Survey
52 and a
says
half.
53 and a half.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a good line. 2023, 24, they won 57. The year before, they won 53. They definitely added depth. They made some great moves, clearing up cap space with that Michael Porter Jr. trade. Whether or not Cam Johnson is a better move, we'll have to see, a better fit. But I do like the addition of Bruce Brown, and they finally have a backup center that's not named DeAndre Jordan. So I think it's a really good line. It's a tough West, but hard to go against Jokic.
Yeah, I feel similarly. I had it. Where did I have him? 50. I had him at 51 and a half. I think it's a better roster, but maybe not like a lot better. Um, and it depends. Like I don't know what Bruce Brown is at this point because he hasn't really played a lot the past couple of years.
Mhm.
But I was looking at the on-off like split numbers on them. Westbrook was bad. It was bad. There were the really good moments that he had, but in the totality, he was like negative 8 points or something in his on-off splits, which I know isn't everything, but like Christian Braun was like plus 14 or something. So I think if Cam Johnson can give them 80% of MPJ and they get something from Brown and Hardaway Jr., maybe one of their younger guys like a Strother or a Watson or Deron Holmes back from injury, maybe he gives them some solid minutes. But for me, it's a stay away. Like I can't bet against Jokic, but at 53 and a half, it's hard for me to like be super confident in a loaded Western Conference when I don't think they're I think they're the third best team in the regular season. The playoffs different, but in the regular season,
Yeah.
I think they're the third best team.
I think we kind of talked about this, but the Valanciunas acquisition is going to be great for Jokic, and maybe it
Yes.
will give him more energy throughout the regular season, and will allow him to rest more. So that's probably where they're factoring in a couple more games plus all those new guys. But like you said, stay away from me.
Yeah, yeah. All right. We got a couple stayaways. Let's see if we can get a bet in. So next up, Josh, we have the Golden State Warriors, who, as of this recording, I don't think they've signed anybody.
No,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
especially with it's kind of surprising, especially with the Kuminga move on the horizon. Nothing
Right.
yet.
Nothing yet. Something big's gonna happen there. I feel like. All right. So with that being said, Josh, What's your prediction?
So I want to preface this. Jack knows, but I do not like the Golden State Warriors. So I have my own personal bias. I That being said, I think the Bucks have the Golden State Warriors at 43 and a half. I think that's a pretty fair line. But I think, yeah.
46 and a half.
Okay, under, under. We're taking that under. But I'm
Okay.
biased. I'm biased. I'm biased.
Okay, let's talk about it. Why we know you're biased. We know you well, I shouldn't say we. I know you're biased. I know you hate is a strong word, but I am going to use it here. You hate the
It's
Warriors.
fair. It's fair. I hate the Warriors.
So, yeah, and you're at 43 and a half. So that's
Yeah,
listen, for NBA win totals, that's I wouldn't say like a huge difference, but it's significant.
it's
Significant.
noticeable for sure.
Yeah. So what do what has you saying like let's take the under here?
Well, so I think they're probably accounting for a couple, hoping that the Golden State Warriors will make a couple of moves. I just personally don't see what those moves are. If you look at their team, they're very old. I mean, Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry, and Draymond Green are your three, and they're all getting up there. At some point, Draymond Green, I think he's going to reach his, you know.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Jimmy Butler, and the thing about Jimmy Butler is we know he takes weeks, honestly, weeks off in the regular season. And if you don't know that, you haven't had Jimmy Butler in your fantasy team. That's just a fact. Go back the last couple of years. He takes a lot of time off in the regular season. Stephen Curry is getting up there, but he's defying defying time, playing so many games. But honestly, I think the Looney departure hurts them a little bit because they don't have a lot at center. I know they're relying on a couple of young guys there, but honestly, I don't see them panning out. And even with Pod and Moody, some of the other young guys in the guard position, I also don't really see them having such a high impact, especially in this West. So again, you're really relying on those three guys who are getting up there in age.
They need Moody to give them. I thought Moody gave them some decent minutes, and then he kind of petered off as the playoff run went on. But it's the strangest thing to me with the Warriors as they're currently constructed. They outside of Steph, they can't shoot.
Yeah.
So they really need to get shooting. And I'm with you. Like, yeah, people will point to the I think it was like 23-7 record after they got Jimmy Butler. Phenomenal. They had a great run at the end of the season, but that I think was because it was a short stretch, and Jimmy had effectively taken the first 4 months of the
He was
season
fresh.
off.
He was
Yeah,
fresh.
he was he
He
was
was fresh.
fresh. He was motivated. They're giving him that new contract extension. There's a lot to me that says this team is going to be back in the play-in, and 46 and a half does seem like a lot. I would lean the under here as well. The one thing I will say though with them, I wonder if they're factoring in like they're trading Kuminga, they may sign Horford. They could get some more pieces to that roster and make them a little bit better for the regular season.
Yeah, they should definitely add Horford so they can get older in age. That'll definitely be helpful for them.
Yeah, but he will give them some shooting, which they do. They really do need. They really need
Yeah.
that. All right.
I mean, the thing about Jimmy Butler is he last time he played more than 60 games was 2022, 23. He just doesn't play a lot of games. I could see that win total definitely being a good line if we expect Jimmy Butler to play the full season, but it just hasn't been his MO, so I can't rely on it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, next up, Josh. Houston Rockets. This is a
Oh
team.
boy.
This is certainly a team on the rise. No point in saving this one. I said before, the Nuggets were the third best team. The Rockets are the second best team. I'm not saying anything controversial here. What do you think, Josh? What's their win total set at?
My only guess is how high do the Bucks have this? And they won 52 last year with all their additions. I'm sure everyone knows about. I want to go 58 and a half, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's higher.
All right, survey says 55.5, and
Oh, wow.
the over is plus 102, and the under is
Wow.
minus 136. So a lot of money going on the under there.
I really thought they would have the line a lot higher.
It,
Dang.
yeah. So let me. Here's my take. First, I have them at 56.5, so I was close. I guess I was a little bit more bullish on them than the books. I understand maybe there's some concern like Durant. He's not going to play the full season, and I think the regular season they may miss having a guy like Cam Whitmore when Durant isn't playing, just to have
How
another
many games did Cam Whitmore win you last season? How many games did he actually win them?
none. But what the reason I say that is because without
Yeah,
Green, and then let's say Durant misses 25 games. In those games, he may help them win a couple of those. We're talking about
that's true.
the margins here.
Hmm.
But with that being said, I honestly like Durant. I think he's going to give them, good production and really help them with the scoring aspect, which they would struggle with at times. But I think the big addition is Dorian Finney-Smith because they gave up Dylan Brooks, and that hurt a bit with the wing defense. And Finney-Smith is going to guard different players, but they have Amen Thompson to guard some of the guys that Dylan Brooks was guarding. I mean, actually, not really. He's going to guard more of the point of attack, guys for
Yeah.
Thompson. But they have enough guys on the wings, like Tari Eason, to take care of some of those responsibilities from Brooks. And Dorian Finney-Smith had far and away the best plus minus on the Lakers last year. He's still a really impactful player with the ability to shoot the three and defend. I just think, and last point, they with getting rid of Jalen Green, they opened up some playing time for Reed Shepard, who I do think could give them meaningful winning, style minutes. So, yeah, I think they're going to be pushing 60, to be honest. I think they're going to be pushing 60. It took me a little bit to become a Rockets believer. I was definitely a hater for a little bit there, but they're fun. They're fun to watch, and they have depth to get past a month or two stretch if they don't have Sengun or Durant. They can survive that stretch. So I think that's important as well.
Yeah, those are all great points. Also, I think most importantly, some of their best players are young. Sengun's young, Men's young, Jabari Smith Jr. is young, and Reed Shepard is young as well. I mean, that's key, especially for those teams in the regular season. You have a lot of these young players that are ready to play a lot of games. That's what we saw with OKC last year. I think what also people kind of don't remember is Jabari Smith Jr. missed a lot of time last season with a hand injury, I believe. And Jayshawn Tate, he also missed not as much time, but he was in and out for weeks, as extended periods of time as well. So that being said, I think if you look at the West last year in 2023, 2024, there were three teams that had 56 plus wins. In 21, 22, there were two teams that had 56 plus wins. So, and then if you look at last year, only one team had above that number, and that was OKC with 68 wins. So, usually based off the last 5 years, there's definitely multiple teams that win more than 53 wins, especially in these, tough Western Conference. So, I don't think it's out of the realm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I like it. I think that's my first over. It's my first
Yeah,
over.
I agree. I agree. We don't love our overs over here.
No, no, definitely not. On team totals, definitely not. They're scary.
Yeah,
Very
they're
few
scary.
teams. All right. Speaking of overs and team totals, Josh. Next up, the Los Angeles Clippers. What do you
Yeah.
think? They've had, I guess, just to set the stage. Off season, they brought in Brooke Lopez. They drafted a center at the end of the first round, so they've beefed up their center depth. They brought back James Harden. They brought back Batum. They traded Norm Powell for John Collins. I think that is a very important trade. What do you think? What do you think they're set at?
I think their line's going to be really close to Golden State. So I want to say 47 and a half. I think it might be a little bit higher because they had a better than expected season last year. Obviously, the mystery lies with Kawhi, but
Woo!
what did they have their line? 47 and a half?
47 and a half. Nailed it. Nailed it.
There we go.
First
There
one.
we go.
First one. All right.
We got to get a
So what do
couple
you
of
think?
those.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you know
That's a
what?
that's that's a stay away. That's the biggest stay away. These teams that you're have known injury history, we stay away from them. We just can't be relying on them. So that's a stay away for me. I think Norman Powell contributed a lot last year. Everyone talked about how great he was, borderline All-Star. I don't know if I believe that, but All-Star nominee. But I don't know if you're really getting that, especially I think, at that position when you need buckets, that especially when like Kawhi was out, that's something hard to replace. And they did shore up their big man depth, but Zubac was great. So I don't know if they're gonna fill in that void. So that they got with Norman Powell leaving. So I honestly would go under if I had to pick, just because of how tough the West is and their injury history, but stay away.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would go under. I would go under. I think there's just a lot of factors um working against them. And I know Kawhi played like 35 games last year, so it's like the argument that he's gonna play less games, like I mean, how many less can he play?
Yeah,
But I think Norm really helped them when they didn't have Kawhi. And I think John Collins will help them when they have Kawhi. But when they don't have him, I don't know how much he helps. So, and not having Norm, I think, hurts a lot, quite frankly. But my guess is they're hoping Bogdanovich, who I think is still on the roster, can, with off season with the Clippers, can kind of take over some of that scoring punch from Powell, which I think he's capable of. But at the same time, it does seem like he's been declining these past couple of
yeah,
years. So yeah, if I had to go a direction, it'd be under. They were very surprising how good they were last year, and like, I don't know. I just worry about this team relying on James Harden for 40 games to do it basically by himself now without Norm. I
yeah.
think Norm in the regular season is going to be a big loss.
I agree. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know where we're going next since this is alphabetical, Josh. What do you think for those LA Lakers?
So at the time of the pod, we don't know what's happening with LeBron James. I know there's a lot of news about that. I'm honestly curious, did they have a line for LA? Like they didn't remove it?
It's on here.
Okay.
You
Okay,
want to get
that's all you need to tell. I'll guess. I'll guess. I'm
yeah.
assuming they're thinking LeBron's going to stay. So that being said, again, I like to group certain teams together. So I'm putting this in the same range as Golden State Warriors, Clippers, and LA Lakers. Knowing LA and the fans, I'm gonna guess 48 and a half.
You're right. That is a factor when we're looking at these. The fans. Survey says, "Woo, two in a row. He's
Let's
hot.
go. Let's go.
He's hot.
Always
He's
just
hot."
always just group Golden State, Clippers, and Lakers together. That's how you do it.
46 and a half, 47 and a half, 48 and a half. They're right in that
Yep.
same ballpark. Man, that seems high.
It seems high. Yeah.
It's like,
I'm not touching it.
man, what did I write down? I I was significantly lower.
Oh
I had him at
wow.
I had him at 44 and a half was what I wrote down. Look, I think. Well, all right. Let me parse out why I say that. I think Aiton. This is a strange thing to say, but he is definitely an upgrade over their centers from last year.
Jackson Hayes.
Right. Uh, and Alex Len? Come on, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know. But and Luka's gonna be better. He is gonna be better. But losing Dorian Finney-Smith hurts a lot. That's a tough one. They didn't have much defense as it was, and that was like one of the few guys who they have a couple of guys who can defend, like Jared Vanderbilt, but he doesn't give you anything on offense. Finney Smith was
Yeah.
like one of the few guys they had who could give them minutes on both sides. And lastly, last year their record was pretty lucky. When you look at their point differential of being only like +1, they should have only won like 42 games, 43 games. They were up around 50. And so I just feel like this is a roster that hasn't improved. Now, as you said, there's a big question mark as to what happens with LeBron. They were actually worse when he was on the court last year. So that's something I'm curious about. But yeah, as of today, I would go under. But to your point, a lot can change in the next couple of months.
Yeah, I think playing the other side of the fence, I think Dorian Finney-Smith was acquired middle of the season, a little earlier, late December, almost January. And then obviously the Luka trade everyone knows about, and everyone talked about how, his first couple of games were terrible, honestly, terrible. He was getting used to the new team. He had some fitness. He had just returned from injury, so he had fitness issues as well. So I think there's some people arguing on that side. Well, the team hadn't played together that long. Luka was out of shape, but you hear that every year, so take that with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, stay away from me.
All right, let's keep it moving, Josh. Next up, the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis, they've traded away Desmond Bain. They've drafted Cedric Coward. They brought back Aldama, and they gave Jaren Jackson Jr. A really big extension. What do you think?
This is a team that I honestly have no idea what they're doing. Um, they made a lot of moves this offseason, especially with that Desmond Bain big headliner. I honestly am putting this team close to the Mavericks. I want to guess 41 and a half. That's my guess. I could see it being lower though.
And the survey says 40 and a half.
I was gonna go 40 and a half. Oh man. Yeah.
Almost three in
Okay.
a row. Almost three in a row.
Ah, damn. Should have got that. Yeah, that's honestly fair. I think if you were to compare it with Dallas, I think they both have their questions. Dallas, people are higher on. I think Memphis is the opposite. People are lower on, especially after the Desmond Bain trade. And a lot of question marks about John Morant. Can he really lead a team to winning basketball? And yeah, I mean, stay away. Big
Here's
stay
a
away.
here's an interesting question for you. Now, if they were in a playoff series, this would be an easy answer. But over the regular season, which roster would you rather have? The Memphis Grizzlies, and I know this could be a little tough for you because you're biased. The Memphis Grizzlies or the Golden State Warriors? Because the Grizzlies are they've got depth. They're very young. I think it's a better suited regular season roster than the Warriors, and the Warriors have 6 more wins. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I would go with Golden State. Steph Curry still, until we see it, one of the top players in the NBA. And then, I mean, would you rather have Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, and take your pick, or Draymond Green, Steph, and Jimmy? I think that's just what it comes down to. And I think their biggest issue is they don't have shooting. I mean, Desmond Bain was their best shooter, arguably. And now, who's their best shooter? Santi Aldama, maybe? Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to chuck up a bunch of threes. I mean,
it, yeah, he doesn't shoot as well as you would think he does. Like Aldama's like
yeah.
mid 30s shooter. They got my guy Cam Spencer. They gave a nice contract too. I think he'll get some playing time. Cedric Coward, I think, can shoot. Jalen Wells was okay. Solid. He was solid. But there's a lot of young guys that they're relying on. I just wonder. We were talking about this earlier. I wonder if there's a Ja Morant incident or a Jaren Jackson Jr. injury, which there already is, by the way. He got hurt. He had to have surgery like the day after he signed that contract extension.
Right. Yeah.
With the strength of the 2026 draft, they get that extra pick as well this year. The loaded Western Conference, like, man, there is a part of me that could see the Grizzlies saying, let's just develop these younger guys, shut down Morant, shut down Jackson, and let's see, how good we could be in 2026, 27.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I could, if I had to pick, I would go under. It's just it's really tough. I mean, how many games do you have to like? What would the record have to be before you make that decision?
Well, I think what's interesting about that is, well, with Ja, listen, I have to say it, we just don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
At any time, something could happen. And Jaren Jackson Jr., he's come like I think when they said, let me try to look up what his surgery was on, but I think they said it was like a several month timeline. So there's a chance he had turf toe injury in his right foot, and that he'd be reevaluated in, they said 12 weeks. They said he's expected to make a full recovery, but that was a couple weeks ago. So we're looking at end of September, early October.
And Zach Edey is also injured for the beginning portion.
So what I'm wondering is if these guys are hurt to start the year, they get off to a bad start. And then it's like, yeah, they come back, but what are they playing for kind of thing. So because to your point, also, looping in Edey, like that's their starting power forward and center.
Yeah.
Those are big losses for a team that has depth, but not necessarily a lot of quality outside of Jackson, Morant. There's other intriguing talent. Like I know both you and I are fans of Scottie Pippen Jr., but
Oh yeah.
it's a lot to put on Scottie Pippen Jr. to get this team into the play-in could be by himself.
No, that's a great point. I think the more you talk about it, the more I'm convinced this is a good under bet.
All right, all right. Got a couple unders. Got a couple unders. We got an over. All right, all right. Let's keep going, Josh. Next up, who do we have here next? The
Minnesota.
Minnesota Timberwolves. We're moving right along. What do you think?
This is a tough one. I mean, the Nickeil Alexander Walker departure hurts, I think, it's a good amount. They won 49 games, and I feel like that was people thought they might have done a little bit better. I would honestly put this line right there. So I'm gonna go 48 and a half. I'm gonna go 49 and a half.
All right, all right. Oh man,
Is that 48?
50 and a half. 50 and a half.
Oh man. I'm one
Close,
off.
close. Yeah, one off again.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
with you. The Nikhil Alexander Walker aspect of this is the part that makes me hesitate and probably turns this into a stay away, just because I'm not sure. The early signs from Dillingham haven't been great. I gotta change my lighting. This is coming in very strange now. Um, and I think Terrence Shannon Jr. can give them some good production like in transition, especially. But Nikhil gave them just a great balance between his defense and his 3-point shooting, and I don't think they're gonna get that. They can get one or the other from their other young guards.
Yeah.
So, but I do like Joan Behringer, who they got in the draft. He's had a really good summer league to start. Can give them good minutes backing up Rudy Gobert, I think, in limited spot. So I think maybe they can make up for some of the loss on the perimeter with increased post defense. But yeah, I would stay away.
What did you have this line at?
Oh, is that better or worse? That lighting, I can't tell.
I think it's better.
All right. I had it at 48 and a half.
Okay.
You're closer. You're one closer than me.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough line. I would go under if I had to choose.
That's fair. All right.
I think you and I are gonna have very different lines. Be real with yourself. Be real with
No.
yourself.
It's been too many years now where I've got to be real at this point.
Okay, okay.
and he's the only guy left there. And to let the people in on the inside joke here, Zion Williamson. Listen, there is very few bigger fans of Zion than myself. I still think the guy is an unbelievable talent, a top 10 talent in the NBA. But the production, because of the injuries and also the weight at certain points in his career, has not been there. Zion, he's not going to play more than 60 games. I think if he played 60 games, that'd be a great season for the
That's a
Pelicans.
lot. That's a
But
lot.
the problem for the Pelicans is not just him. It's not just him. DeJounte Murray coming back from a major injury. Herb Jones coming back from injury, although I expect him to be healthy. They traded away C.J. McCollum for Jordan Poole. This actually may not be the worst at this point
Probably
in
not.
CJ's career. They're also going to be playing a couple of rookies a lot of minutes, and at the same time, they can't tank.
Yeah.
They gave up their first round pick unprotected. Josh, what do you think?
I wish we got that pick. That pick.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man. I think this is gonna be a hard line to guess just because as you just talked about, I kind of expect them to be bad, but they can't tank. So where does the book put that at? If I had to guess, 34 and a half. Just throwing a number out there.
30 and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't say anything about that. I mean, they won 21 games last year. Who's their starting center this year?
Yves Missi.
Yves?
Yeah.
Oh, that's oh man. Oh man. DeJounte Murray, Yves, Zion. You need Trey Murphy for shooting. Do you play
Also,
Jordan Poole as well?
also
That's your starting five?
they picked Fears and Queen, who are Fears is
Ooh.
not a good shooter at all.
No.
And Queen, I think Queen is a player, but this is like as bad of a fit as you could get for him, almost.
Yeah. Oof, ugly.
Yeah, but they have to try to win. It's
They have to try to win.
it's such a mess, such a mess of a situation. It's actually the only team I didn't put a prediction down for on what their total was because I was like I don't even know. I got no idea where to begin with like who's gonna play. Yeah, I would stay away or go under. There's no way I would go over. I'll say that. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, just based off the roster alone, 30 and a half is a good line, but as you and I have mentioned so many times, they have to win. So I just can't bet on this. No way.
The last thing I'll say, I feel bad for Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, two guys
Oh yeah.
who I think would be great players in winning teams. They could immediately help contenders. And if they didn't trade their pick, I think would be very, sought after as trade candidates this year. But the fact that they have to be good, it's like they got to keep those guys, right?
Here's a more interesting question. I agree to your point. Yeah, they have to keep them for sure. Let me ask you another question. Over under Trey Murphy 3-point attempts. I'm setting the line at 8.7. Last year he had 8.3. I mean, he's going to be chucking them. He's going to be chucking them.
Under. And the
Really?
sole reason why, look at who they added, Josh. They added Jordan Poole.
Oh yeah.
They add Jordan Poole, and they added a couple of rookies who are they're gonna want to put the ball in their hands. Like I know
He's
Trey,
still going to need to shoot though.
he is, but I think those guys are gonna take some shots away from him, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be to the detriment of the team. But I think that's what's gonna happen. I don't know. And also if they get like Murray back, like I wonder how much of if you looked at his splits, like how much would that be? But that's for another video. All right, let's keep going. All right, from the almost the very bottom to the very top of the conference here, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who won 68 games last year, and their roster is better and they did so last year with having they had a we remember very clearly. It was like a 3 week stretch where they didn't have a center, or a couple week stretch.
Yeah.
Now they've got even more depth at center. They've got their first round pick from last year back healthy. What do you think?
So I think you gave me a little hint, but I'm guessing the line is 62.5.
Oh, that's three. That's three.
Oh, I was thinking that you kind of gave me a hint when you said, I don't know if it's high enough.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, we were talking about that before. I forgot about that.
Yeah, before.
Hey, listen. If you need betting advice, Josh is the guy to go to. He's got nailed three lines here. But
I've been close too.
you've
I'm
been
one
close.
off on a couple of the
You've been
ones.
close.
Yeah,
Man, it is hard. It's hard not to take that over again.
it's hard not to think that over.
They are so deep that even if Shea misses 25 games, I think they'll still go over.
Yeah. I mean, here's my argument, right? Boston in 23-24 won 64 games. And then the next year, everyone's like, oh, the line's going to be too high, too high. And I think it came out pretty, maybe like 59.5, 60.5. I can't remember. And they ended up winning 61 games, even with the so-called championship hangover. OKC's at 60. They won 68 games. And the line is 62.5? Over. Give me that over.
I might be skeptical of them going back to back, but
Yeah.
regular season wise, they're going to be one of the 2 or 3 best defenses in the NBA, and they have the deepest team in the NBA. What are we really talking about here? What are we talking about? This is easy. Now, it may not be as much as we put last year. So that was a big bet last year on them that we had. A couple of big bets, I should say. But definitely got to take it again. Got to take it again.
We have a bet. And last year, OKC, from now on, we're going to call it the OKC 24-25 bet. It's a bet where we're so confident in the win total that we put a lot of money on it. And last year was OKC. I don't know about this year, but
I don't know about this year.
I like the
Yeah, I like it. I like it as well. All right. we've been playing a little ping pong in terms of top and bottom of the conference. We're going back down, Josh. We're going back down here. Phoenix Suns, man. They got rid of Kevin Durant. Looks like Bradley Beal's going to be bought out. I do think they've added some good young players. But will that help them this year? Probably not. Probably not. What do you think?
Probably
Where
not.
do you think they're at?
So again, I mean, I'm grouping them with the Pelicans, but I mean, Devin Booker plays more than Zion and arguably is better than Zion. I think they have a little bit of a better starting roster.
Yep.
I would put their line at 33.5.
Oh, man. 32 and a half.
Oh, yeah.
So close. So close. Yeah. I think it's a fair line. If I were to lean, if I had to pick, proverbial gun to the head, you got to make a decision. I would lean under.
Yeah, I mean,
if Booker misses games, who's on this team, Josh?
Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks,
Okay.
Mark Williams. Okay, my only thing is, again, they have to win games. Like, they're not going to tank. And
True.
I like their roster better than the Pelicans.
Well,
And we were even hesitant about the Pelicans being at 30.5.
yeah, that's fair. I kind of like the Pelicans roster more. I like their roster more right now. I think the Suns may have more potential with some of the guys they got. But to your point, Devin Booker is a much more reliable star, and that's super important. And I also think, as you said, I mean, what a terrible position for both those teams to be in, where we're looking at them at the bottom of the conference and saying they have to win. They don't have their pick.
Yeah.
Shout out to the fans of the Suns and Pelicans.
Bleak
Good luck.
future for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. All right. All right, Josh. You know what's coming here.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of fans of teams, it's your team, the Portland Trailblazers. Listen. One thing I will say, at least the Drew Holiday trade, you didn't have to give up those picks.
Yeah.
1-for-1 swap is a little bit more palatable. Where do you think how many wins did you guys get last year? 36?
Yeah, and I think the line was like 22.5, and I wanted to go under.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was low. I remember it being low.
Much more competitive than people thought last year, for sure.
Yeah, we were burned by that.
Yeah, I was burned.
This is tough, but again, okay, so me as a Portland fan, I want us to win like 10 games. We should be tanking as hard as we can. Realistically, a lot of people are high on us. We have a lot of young talent. We have possibly a top 5 player of all time in Hansen. Have you heard his nickname? Have you heard his nickname?
Let me just guess. Let me guess. I don't think this is it, but are they calling him like the Chinese Jokic or something?
I mean, so, but the funniest one is people are calling him the Big Tariff. I love that. I love that. Anyways, it's tough. I think they're in the same range as the Pelicans and Phoenix. I'm gonna guess 31.5, but I think we should be winning like 10 games. We should be so low.
Survey says 32 and a half.
Oh my God. You're doing me dirty.
Yeah, that's another one. You're one off.
Under. Under.
Listen,
Actually, I'm biased.
I know this is by far and away. I don't know. Maybe because I got burned so bad by them, and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I had them way higher. This is by far and away the biggest discrepancy I've had. It's the only one where I'm more than 4 games off, and I'm way more than 4. This is crazy. I'm looking at.
What did you have? Did you have like 40.5?
43 and a half, Josh.
No way.
I think. Listen, I know people poke. Here's my rationale. I think it's probably too high, but here's my rationale. They had like the 3rd or 4th best defense in the NBA post All-Star break. And I know people have said like they got lucky, with some of the 3-point shooting aspects of it.
Yeah.
But I just think getting rid of Simons, replacing him with Holiday, I think will. Even though I think Holiday lost a little bit of a step last year, I think makes up for maybe some of the luck they had defensively. And I'm not betting on Scoot, who I do think, had some good moments, but I don't think he's going to be like a star player, but I think he's solid. From what I saw against the Knicks, basically. This is where this is all coming from. But Shaedon Sharpe and Deni Avdija, I do think are poised. Avdija had a great second half of the season. I think Shaedon Sharpe without Simons could really take a step forward as a scorer. And so I think these guys, and get in the Big Tariff, a full season of Klingon, you've got those 2 guys at center. I just think this team, when I look at some of these other teams in the West, like, I think they're on an upward trajectory, and some of these other teams I don't think have gotten better. I think they can pass some of those other teams and just continue moving up. But listen, I understand I'm way higher than what the books have them at.
Yeah, no, I see it. And to your point about the defense, I know I heard the same thing about the variance, but we also had Kamara, who was second team all defense, deservedly
he's
so.
legit.
Arguably could have been first team, but it's a tough league. He's only going to get better. My concern is that we lost our best 3-point shooter, and it wasn't even close. I mean, if you talk about our starting lineup, Deni Avdija he can shoot okay, honestly, but that's not his game.
Not his game. Yeah.
So we're running maybe Klingon, a non-shooter, Deni Avdija, Kamara, who is okay again, but that's not his game.
Yep.
Scoot or Drew Holiday, neither can shoot the 3 ball. Drew Holiday can only shoot from the corner. And then Shaden Sharp, I mean, he hasn't been the most reliable. So we have no three-point shooting in our starting
Yeah,
lineup.
yeah, that's a very good point. It's a very good point. I think I'm gonna play the over on this one, but it's gonna be small. It's gonna be small
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
because I think you're right. I think it's gonna be a question of will the defense be good enough to get them, over, or will the 3-point shooting hold them back? And that will see. And also, I think as a positive with the 3-point shooting, that a lot of these guys are young, and so they could
Yeah.
they could improve over the summer. All right, this one is tricky, Josh. This next one is tricky. We've got
Disgusting.
three more teams to go here. Sacramento Kings. I don't even know what. Speaking of teams, what are they doing? I have no idea what the Kings are doing right now. What do you think? What do you think they're at?
I think their line is 38 and a half.
Oof. Close, but not as close as you've been of late.
Oh,
36 and
really?
a half. 36 and a half.
Wow. I mean, I'm just looking at everyone calls them the Chicago of the West. And Chicago, I think it's because they're playing in the East. Last 3 years, 39, 39, and 40. That's why I guess 38. But yeah, I mean, this team has no direction. Give a good deal to Dennis Schroeder. Not good as
Oh,
in actually good, but they gave him a lot of money. I don't
I
know where
forgot.
that
I
came
forgot
from.
about that. I already forgot about that.
I don't know. They have no point guard. Dennis Schroeder's your starting point guard probably,
Yeah,
or Malik Monk. I don't
he's
know.
better off the ball. Like it was a
Yeah,
little uncomfortable watching him, Zach Levine, DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis. I feel bad for Keegan Murray
yeah,
because I think he could have had a very different NBA trajectory, but they just keep adding guys who need the ball. So he's just
yeah.
got to be a spot up guy. It's funny to me because I like some of their young players, even though they're like more like they've been getting some older players like through the draft of late. Like Keon Ellis, I think is a decent player. Keegan Murray, and then the guys they took this year, Nick Clifford, Maxime Reynaud. I think those are good NBA players. But the problem is that starting five. I mean, who's playing defense?
Here's my question. If they trade either and or both, DeMar or Zach Levine, does that change your thoughts on them or no?
Slightly,
They probably wouldn't get much, but wouldn't
right?
that would that make you feel better about them?
It would make me feel better about them, but not enough to be like, this is a good team. It would just be like, I think they're moving in the right direction if I were a Kings fan.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it's a gross line. They're a bad team.
yeah, I could see this being really bad for them. But the
Mm.
problem is, Sabonis, the problem with that statement, Sabonis is a good player.
Yeah,
DeRozan,
offensively.
Levine, right. DeRozan, Levine, solid players at this point in DeRozan's career. Monk's a solid player. Solid's a good player. They've got like real legit NBA players, but they don't fit well. So I don't know. I'm staying away on that one for sure.
If I had to lean, I would lean under because they do have their pick, and we talked about how we expect more
True.
teams to tank when possible, and there are a couple teams that can't tank, so they could definitely be one of those candidates, I feel like.
I guess on that point, maybe it's not Levine or DeRozan because they're not gonna get much back, but maybe they get a Sabonis trade.
Who would trade for Sabonis?
I don't know, I was thinking the same thing when you said Levine and DeRozan. But I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a good question. It's a good question. All right. Next up, Josh. San Antonio Spurs. Oh,
And this is, but
I revealed it so people watching will know, but you don't know. So we're good. We're good. I accidentally revealed it early. Go ahead.
this is a tough one. think people are going to be really high on them, but I honestly don't think they're there yet. I am guessing the line is 43 and a half.
Go buy a lotto ticket, Josh. That's four.
Woo! Let's go. I mean,
Four.
I'm just putting them in that range right below where they seem to have the contending teams like the Clippers, Lakers, Golden State, but above. It's interesting. Do you think they're better than Dallas? I guess you're accounting for the Dallas injury, no Kyrie and everything, right? That's what the win
Well,
total
no
is accounting for.
Kyrie. How many games is Anthony Davis going to play? How many games is Derek Lively going to play? Who's already having another surgery.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but and then you can make a similar argument though with the Spurs. Like, do we know? I know they cleared him for play, but Wembanyama, like that's still a little bit scary for me heading into next
Yeah,
season.
definitely. Definitely.
But is it is this? I mean, I know. All right, Anthony Davis is the better player, but like by how much at this point in terms of their impact? Like when
Yeah.
Anthony, the thing is like Anthony Davis's peak, no doubt, no doubt. But the problem with Anthony Davis is he doesn't give you that every game. It's like
Yeah.
some games he's super aggressive, but some games he's not offensively. The defense is always the defense, but you also get that with Wembanyama. So it's like,
Leading defensive player of the year candidate when he was
yeah,
playing. And it wasn't even close.
wasn't close.
Wasn't even
Wasn't close.
close.
So, and then like I like what they got in the draft with Carter Bryant, who's going to help them on the wings. The fit with Dylan Harper and Castle and Fox is clunky for sure.
Yeah.
You're talking about 3-point shooting with the Blazers. Those three guys, I don't think you can play them together.
So your best 3-point shooting is maybe Vassell. Is he even starting with those guys?
And Vassell's plus minus is not good because I don't think
Yeah.
his defense is very good. I forget which one it is. I like both of them, but I forget which Champagny
Oh
twin
yeah.
is on the Spurs. But I think he plays a little bit better defense than Vassell, and he gives them shooting. Weirdly enough, one of their more important players is Harrison Barnes because he shot the ball
Yeah.
really well from three.
But we're not gonna expect that necessarily.
Again, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but he does get some wide open looks on that roster because they do have a lot of creators and athletes, and they've got solid depth. I think I would stay away. I can't talk myself into the over for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think the fit is the big question at that guard position and Wemby's health. I think it's a fair line. It's just tough to bet on either side. Honestly, if I were to bet, I would bet under just because it's the West. Uh, and like again, why would they not tank again? They have their pick.
It's true, especially one more year, and then you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. And then I think then we'll see a little bit of a changing of the guard in the West with some of these younger teams, the Trailblazers, the
Yeah.
Spurs. Who am I forgetting? I don't know. And then you look at like the Lakers, Clippers, like these teams, the Warriors, they're getting old. There's not many more
They're getting
years.
old.
Um, well, I mean, the Lakers, I guess, aren't getting old as a team, but LeBron is old.
Yeah.
And there's not much. There's just not much there outside of whatever. We're not talking about the Lakers. All right, Josh. Final team. Good luck on this one. Utah
Yeah.
Jazz.
My question is, how low is it? That's my question. And my guess is 19 and a half, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 20 and a half.
Oof. Survey says 18 and a half.
Oh
Oh.
man. Okay.
So what'd you
I
get
feel
on
like
that?
18 and a half is one of the lowest numbers we've seen so far, and I'm not surprised. Because I thought the Wizards one year was really low and it was like 20 and a half, so I'm like, I think it's around there, but I mean,
Oh, I'm gonna look as we're talking here because I know I bet them in the Nets last year.
oh the yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well,
But
the
yeah,
Wizards were coming off a 15-win season.
that is brutal. Uh, that's just brutal. I mean, man, the Jazz. How many did they win last year though? Like
31.
something's. No, 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 no.
Oh, 17, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, what I was trying to say was they're actually projected to win a couple more games, I guess, technically, than last year. And Josh,
Mhm.
like, this team is worse.
Yeah, they are.
Like, I don't know how that's possible, but they are. They just they're just worse.
They got rid of their decent veterans.
Yeah,
You think
yeah.
Walker Kessler gets traded?
I imagine at some point they look to do that because I mean, I just don't know what they're trying to accomplish, really. They've been tanking or like sort of tanking now for a very long time.
Yeah,
Like they're doing like the half season tanking for a little bit, but like they are
limited sample size, but interesting statistic is looking back in both conferences the last 4 years, teams that have won less than 20 wins the next season, they continue to win less than 20 games.
very interesting.
So it's a good range. I mean, but it's still tough. The line is 18 and a half, so they could win 19 and you could lose your bet.
They could. And I was just looking at last year's because I got the Wizards. Wizards at 22 and a half took their under that hit. But
Yeah.
what didn't hit, which was the lowest, I believe, the Nets 19 and a half.
Oh,
They went over.
okay.
So I'm taking the under on the Jazz. I'm taking the under. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. This
Oh,
they they listen. Here's all I'm gonna say. I don't think he's even the number one pick really right now because he's been passed. But AJ DeBonsa is gonna be playing in Utah at BYU this year.
they're gonna do some Mormon magic.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna do what they can to make sure that guy stays in Utah in the following season. So yeah. Any final thoughts here, Josh? We've gone through the Western Conference.
No, I think it's good session. I four on the dot. Couple I was one off on.
Twenty-seven
Maybe I could
percent.
do, yeah, maybe I could do better in the Eastern side, but I feel like that side's tougher, not gonna lie.
I think so too. I think so too.
I'm gonna
Uh,
be off on a lot of those.
we'll keep track. We'll keep track. We'll see what you do.
Okay.
But all right, guys. Should have said this like probably an hour ago. But like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on the podcast, give us a good rating. All that good stuff. And until next time, peace.
Hey guys.